Over the course of the pandemic, we have seen federal and state governments hand out a lot of money to Americans, but something that's not talked about enough is the rampant fraud that is occurring every day, costing the taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars when it comes to unemployment benefits. Here to talk about combating the fraud is Indiana Congresswoman Jackie Walorkski. Welcome back to Wake Up America, Congresswoman.
Thanks so much, Tom. It's good to see you this morning. Yeah, this is an issue that is already out of hand, and it's been going on since last summer. So we just dropped a bill, as you said, to start combating that as the Republicans on Ways and Means.
Yeah, in the bill that you introduced, you said, quote, enhanced federal unemployment benefits are not only hurting our economic recovery, they are turning Americans into easy prey for fraudsters and criminals. Rampant unemployment fraud has cost taxpayers as much as $200 billion. Democrats don't really seem to care a lot about this. Why is that?
You know, I think they are turning a blind eye to the fact that this unbelievable amount of extended unemployment, which now goes through September, they're believing that this isn't really happening. They don't want to put safeguards on this massive amount of money that they're sending out to people to stay home and not work. But what is happening, this actually, Tom, could go down in history as the greatest ripoff of taxpayer money we've ever seen. This could get as high as $200 billion. And so I held a hearing for the Republicans on the subcommittee that I chair, and to listen to people from all over the country. There is not a state that is exempt. People in every single state in this country are finding out that they've been completely ripped off. And then when you talk about adding identity theft on top of that, this is almost impossible to get out of as well. So what we're saying to our fellow Democrats is, look, if you're going to continue paying people to stay at home, get with us on this bill, because what this bill does, it adds safeguards on the front end, like identity verification to prevent fraud before it occurs. It strengthens the efforts to catch the criminals and recover those funds. And then it adds protections for taxpayers and victims of identity theft. So these are real common sense parameters that we believe with law enforcement, for what we've learned. This will help curtail this, but we've got to have a bipartisan approach to this, or taxpayers are going to continue to get ripped off.
Congresswoman, there's also the issue of people who could go back to work and just choose not to, people who are not actively looking for work and have pulled themselves out of the workforce for an extended period of time, who aren't even in the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers on unemployment because they've been such long-term unemployed. So what can be done about folks who turn down gainful employment or aren't looking for work, who still want to collect this money?
Well, this is a classic case of Democrats slowing down the economy and refusing to move our economy, get it open, and continue to allow Americans to have prosperous lives. I had a bill that basically said we'll pay you a bonus to go back to work if you go back to work by July. And we've seen help wanted signs all over my district, all over the state of Indiana, and all over the country. And so our House leadership sent a letter out. I joined them last Friday to every Republican governor in the country, asking them to please stop the extension of the benefits, the federal benefits. Please go back down to those state level benefits. And I'm happy to say on Monday morning of this week, the state of Indiana's Governor Eric Holcomb, did that. I think we're up to over 20 states now that are cutting those extension of federal benefits. And, that is just good news for employers in my district. It doesn't matter if you have 2 employees and you're a mom and pop shop on Main Street, or if you're a production facility generating manufacturing and have 5,000 employees. This is a key of getting people back to work. And when we talk about the global supply chains are broken, they are, because the people that are putting raw materials together in the other states, they're not working either. So this is a nationwide fix. I'm thrilled that the state of Indiana is open and will discontinue those benefits in the next 30 days.
I mentioned it last hour. You have 6 million manufacturing jobs that are open. You have about 3.4 million food service and retail jobs open. Between now and September, though, how do you really encourage people to get off the unemployment line and go and actually get back to work?
Well, I think the elimination of these extended federal benefits is certainly going to be a step in the right direction. And I think what we're going to find is, as people come back and as our economy continues to pick up, I really do think that there's not an employer in this country that can compete against the federal government. We've got to stop that. We've got to get out of that concept, and we've got to get back to work and realign our fellow Americans on the American dream. It's theirs too, and they can have it. And there's been a 16-month hiatus of this. But I think that, we're heading in the right direction with what we're offering people. Bonuses to go back and be a part of the successful Americans putting our economy back on track. Democrats are not helping this. As you talked about with the fraud, Democrats aren't helping put parameters and stopping the fraudsters. And on this, you can make $17.50. You can make $17.50 an hour in the state of Indiana on both benefits, state and the federal extended benefits. It's hard for people to get people to come off of that. So, I think we're heading in the right direction. I'm optimistic because that letter to the governors has shown some good, productive results. And we're going to keep on with our message, which is everybody can go back to work. Everybody can be a part of this great nation to get our economy opened up and to get COVID in the rearview mirror behind us.
Congresswoman, Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats have teased this idea of an extension past September. They've talked about additional stimulus payments because it's not just the unemployment benefits and the enhanced unemployment. It's also the child tax credits. It's also the direct checks, the $1,400 checks or the $2,000 checks. That all adds up in terms of income for people who don't want to actually go back to work and they want to live off the government. Are you hearing that there's an appetite among Democrats to actually continue to keep this gravy train going?
I would say that seems to be their mantra, Tom, is that we're just going to throw money out the window. We're going to pay people. I'm thinking, I think part of this has a political calculation that the more money you send to people, the more people will vote for you on the other end of this. There are legitimate cases. Don't get me wrong. There are people that really do need this, that are in a tough spot. But for the most part, this is all Democrats have done. And, what's going to come flying back at us, it's already starting right now, which we haven't talked about, is inflation. The prices in this country are skyrocketing. So all these folks that have all this money in their pockets by next summer will probably have it taken out of their left pocket and their right pocket right back to the Democrats in tax increases. Yeah, so I don't see anything good coming from that. I see we need to move forward.
Yeah, and inflation obviously means that your dollar does not go as far as it used to, certainly during the Trump administration. Representative Jackie Walorkski, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.